Welcome back to the Good Green Home Show with Rich and Shauna. Today, our garden guest is Dan Heims from Terra Nova Nurseries. He is the president and chief bottle washer there.
Chief bottle washer.
Yeah, he does everything.
Not me.
Hello, Dan. This is
Hi.
Rich Christakis, and thank you so much for coming on our show.
Absolutely.
And Dan is one of the world's leading plant breeders. Is that correct, Dan?
Well,
He's too modest.
they say that, but I used to do all the breeding for Terra Nova, but we have 5 breeders now that work for me, and they're the people that do the heavy lifting. Let's say that.
So Dan's company is one of the
Yeah, the
help
team. The team. It's all about the team. Now, I
Absolutely.
went out.
Oh yeah, but I do help direct, and sometimes it's just we need a plant that does this and that, and
I was able to actually go and visit the scientific area where you can go, the botanical
Tissue culture
Yeah,
and-
all of that. I got to see that this season.
Oh, yeah.
I went out and toured Terra Nova, and then we got to see the Terra Nova gardens, which are astoundingly beautiful. Dan, they really are.
I'll have to send you a few pictures. We just got some new ones.
Now, Dan, I've a little background on me. I've got a couple garden centers. My brother and I now run them. We're second generation owners, and we have a wholesale greenhouse. We do grow some perennials there, and primarily an annual production. We buy in most of our perennials that we sell, but we do buy a lot of the Terra Nova varieties. We used to be heavier into perennial production, and your catalog was the one that I would always go to first, because being an independent garden center, we wanted to have the different, the new and the different, because our customers were always looking for the new and the different. And Terra Nova always had the colorful coral bell, the new colored coneflower, the stuff that, the spiderwort that came out, that had the chartreuse foliage. And that was the kind of stuff that I was like, yes, this is cool. This is different. I'm not seeing this anywhere else. And so you guys are the ones that are making that happen, or one of the leaders in making that happen.
And why? Why are you doing such
I
unique
can
things?
interject on that. I'd like you to know that these are tested plants. They're not just developed and pushed out as quick as possible. A lot of our plants are 3 to 5 years in the ground, tested, sent to garden writers for feedback. I think we do, it's getting close to 100 garden writers we send all over the U.S., and we get the feedback. And
Are you
that
one of
helps
them,
us
Shauna?
I am
set
one
our
of them.
zones.
I am one of them. This year you sent out a Brunera to me that knocked my socks off. It's still a little baby because when they send out samples in a smaller form. But I'm very excited about next year to see what's developed over the winter.
Was it Alexander's Great?
It was, yes.
That's
I
a clever
love
name.
that.
That has the coolest story behind it. But
Oh, tell us.
Will that plant be out
we
this
don't have
year?
hours, but basically it was this Russian guy he's from Belarus, and я говорил немножко по-русски, and so it helped that means I speak a little Russian, and it helped to be able to communicate with him. He had heard of Terra Nova, he knew we were trustworthy, and he trusted this plant, and we have some more Brunera from him coming up. But the things are just so tight there and so difficult. You can get on the internet about once a month. And to get anything, you had to ship a plant to his brother, and they had to bring it to
Walk past
Germany.
the Siberian
Got the
tigers.
proper documentation. Oh, it was like
So it was a challenge.
No, it was like a spy thriller to get the plant to us.
That's great.
Wow. So that Brunera Alexander's Great, is that a plant that will be available to the consumer in 2015?
Oh, yeah, it's out there right now.
It's
and
out there now.
It has huge leaves. I mean,
Giant.
we measured one at 15 inches across.
Wow, it's like a
Ah.
hosta.
It's huge.
Oh, it's gigantic.
and perfect
Wow.
for shade.
Wow, I've never seen a Brunera.
Now
That's
he's talking. Dan is a lover of all things shade. It seems like too. He has a wonderful line of Heuchera, and when I told him that he had Heuchera or coral bells, he said that's not the way you pronounce it. Tell me the proper way to pronounce
School
it.
her up.
Yeah.
Where the proper pronunciation is, it was named after von Heuchera.
Heuchera. So
He's an Austrian who was a friend of Linnaeus way back in the day, and he called it Heuchera.
Heuchera.
And so Heuchera is the proper pronunciation.
It is, but Heuchera, Heuchera, I understand what people are talking
Beautiful.
about. And
I'll be honest with you. I've never heard it pronounced
Americans-
Heuchera.
Heuchera.
I really haven't. I've always heard Heuchera.
I'm just
Well,
umlaut.
The thing about the Heuchera for the everyday gardener is that it is absolutely the best plant to grow when you're talking about ease of growing in shade. I love it. And all the colors you've come out with lately. Do you have a favorite variety that'll be available in 2015, Dan?
Do you have a favorite child?
I know, right? It's
Not
so
answering
hard
that
to
question.
Yeah.
Now,
That's playing with fire.
I mean,
That's playing with a tiki torch.
The most difficult part of being a breeder is that we always have something new and something better. And Forever Purple is one that just rocks my socks. And Glitter is another one. Just it's this combination of foliage and flowers. It used to be you had one or the other, but they pull it together. The metallics are incredible. Forever Purple holds its color through the season, where other Heucheras, it's part of their interest.
Heuchera.
They change
Hold
color.
on. You said Heuchera, Dan. Heuchera.
This is an American audience. This is
now I like
I
as
want to know what we're saying.
for Heuchera here, Obsidian, and you're the
Yeah, I love
group
that.
that developed this Obsidian, I believe,
We
right?
sell lots and lots of obsidian.
It is a fantastic plant, but I'll tell you, there's one called Black Taffeta now that's just as black, and the leaves are this big. They've got a
Wow.
great little ruffle going around them. It's fantastic. So that's my new recommendation. It is.
It's taffeta.
We've
Black
got to get the
New and
landscapers onto that because we sell a lot of perennials to landscape contractors, and they are kind of drinking the obsidian Kool-Aid. So we're gonna have to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard when people get used to a plant, but things do improve.
Yes, absolutely.
We are getting competition. What my Japanese friend Ushio Sakazaki, this is the guy who invented the wave petunia.
Oh,
He calls them Kinko breeders.
Kinko breeders, like copiers.
Yeah,
I got it.
That everybody comes out with something similar. I understand.
and they're not. The plants are not tested. They're just pushed. They're using our genetics, and it's sad. And some of them have big money behind them, so they market harder. And
For the audience, the reason he's saying it's sad is because when they push things out really fast in a breeding program, sometimes the plants are actually failing more in the field. And so he's concerned, Dan,
There's not enough testing behind it to see if it's a true performer or a true hardy.
I'll give an example of one if you want. Like it was called Miracle. And when I first saw this plant, it was in a 4-inch pot. This was the publicity picture they had, was a 4-inch pot, which was one of their seedlings. And they pushed it. And, it is pretty beautiful for a few days. And then it's gone. Mm-hmm. And we have one called Delta Dawn that is so much better than that. And,
well, I'm a big Heuchera fan, I'm a big Echinacea fan. And Echinaceas are known to be iffy sometimes. Do you have a recommendation for Echinacea coming from Terra Nova in 2015 that's a really strong hybrid?
Okay, well, I have my computer right here.
He's going to pull up his own website, terranovanurseries.com.
Thank you for the plug.
Hey, you're welcome. Do you still have a sales rep by the name of Roger something?
I don't know.
We just Roger.
We have 115 employees now. So
I thought I used to deal with a guy named Roger.
The ones I'm liking personally are the Supreme series. These are the ones we're working with blooms of Bressingham, like Supreme Cantaloupe. Supreme Elegance is one of my favorites. It has really dark stems. It's about 3 feet tall. It's not some squishy, squat plant. It's got some height in it. Significant plant. And any of the ones with the Hawaiian names, for some reason, they seem to be just powerful, strong plants with large flowers. Big kahuna.
By large, how large are you talking? Like 3 inches, 4 inches?
5.5 inch flower.
Oh my gosh, that's giant, man.
Yeah.
How about this? Am I pronouncing this right? Agastache?
Oh no, You're not.
School us up.
Correct him.
Okay, I always say I defend my plant names. So I say aga, like an agapanthus, right? Do you say stachys or do you say stachys?
Stachys. Agastache?
Agastache. And you always pronounce that last E.
Agastache. Okay.
Agastache, Agastache, either one's fine.
Agastache.
How about this blue boa? This is a new variety?
What an incredible plant. We tested this plant at Denver Botanic Garden, and they give a special award, only one plant a year, and it's too good to wait to the end of the trial.
Oh,
in other words, they're so excited about the plant that they just have to say, this is our number one recommendation.
I love the
this
description.
Year it looked fantastic.
Luxurious deep violet blue flower spikes held over ultra green foliage. Unlike any other Agastache, the flower spikes are long, wide, and extremely showy. It's a great perennial color spot for summer bloom. Common name, hummingbird mint.
So does it attract hummingbirds in your experience?
Does. So many of our plants, there's a lot of talk right now about pollinators. What's bringing in the pollinators? Talking about the butterflies needing forage plants, and especially bees. And we do so many plants that are just slammed with bees, with the Agastache, with the Coreopsis, with the Sedums. The Echinacea is real. The butterflies go nuts over them. They're really full of nectar. And I mean, when we are in the breeding fields, in the Coreopsis and the Sedum, we are literally having to move the bees away.
I have some sedum that are darker burgundy. I really like, but they flop a little bit. It's Matrona, and that's an older variety. What is your recommendation for a non-floppy, newer variety?
Well, let's just go right to it. I mean, we got like 270 plants right now, and they're in my head, but I like to make recommendations. The party series, we have beach party, birthday party. These are just the most vigorous plants we have in the garden. They are just
so tough cookies,
so stiff, and you will never ever see them flip.
That's awesome, because sedum happens to be the perfect plant for a xeric garden. So if the end viewers are looking for something that's drought tolerant and will grow like crazy and look incredibly beautiful, plus it has fall flower. So if you get a burgundy colored plant, it has color all season long, and then it flowers huge at the end of the year. I think it's a great recommendation.
With that point, Shauna, they think about how few things are flowering really late in the season, August, September, October. And it's important for the bees to have those sedums around. There's one we have called Touchwood Teak that is just beautiful. It's a smaller leaf, but they come up like they're just beautiful. You'll see them on our website, but just black purple foliage, nice flowers. Rosetta is another. They look with blue leaves.
They look beautiful with black-eyed Susans next to them, in my experience, because they are the black-eyed Susans, at least in the Illinois, in the Midwest here. They're growing and blooming right at that same time.
Right. It's a nice, what they call a color echo.
And Dan, you're located on the West Coast. Whereabouts?
Okay, the nursery. I live in Portland, but the nursery's down in Canby. It's about 25 miles southeast. And Willamette Valley is mild winter. I think it's 48 today, and it'll get down to 39 tonight. We haven't seen snow this year, but
that's warm. That's like a heat wave compared to us.
So our hellebores are up and in color right now. They're not all the way up, but they're pushing. This is the time of year you're just looking for any kind of spring stimulation.
Well, and when you are going to be broadcast on our show will be later in the season. So we'll
It'll
be summer, late summer.
Either August or early September.
And so your recommendation.
There's
we should have said that.
Another plant I'm not mentioning are the Kniphofias.
Ooh, red hot pilker.
Another one, you go.
Wait, pronounce it again. Nick.
Kniphofia.
Kniphofia. I always left that out, the K, and obviously I'm wrong.
I did the same thing.
You say knife, right?
Right.
Yes.
That's how I pronounce it.
Exactly.
I did a talk in Australia. I was in Melbourne, and this huge Boer man came up afterwards, the guy with the big nose with the red veins, and put his hand on my shoulder, and he said, "Mr. Heims, I'm from South Africa, and I must let you know that I knew Mr. Knipoff personally, and you're supposed to say Kniphoffia."
There you have it.
He sound just like that too?
Of course he did.
And for the average consumer, that is what, a red hot poker?
Yeah, Tritoma is another name. I don't like common names. I'm a Latin lover.
We got a lot of listeners who are beginner gardeners or novice or even advanced gardeners. So for the general public, they might not know what Kniphoffia is.
But let me tell you something, is that when you have a plant like this, when we start breeding a plant, we say, what's wrong with these plants? And people said, they have wide leaves, they fold, they look lousy by the end of the year. The flowers are stunning, but they don't bloom long enough. So our goal was to develop a plant with grassy foliage that looked good even without flowers, and tons of flowers and reblooming flowers. So we've got it. So we have this entire popsicle series that are just terrific, and these are later bloomers. They bloom all the way to frost for us. Other color, of course, the sedums, the echinaceas. We have coreopsis that bloom all the way to fall. Citrine, my favorite yellow.
Yeah, could you talk about some of the varieties of coreopsis that you have that are unique and unusual, because there's so many
new ones? Well, the original that made a big wave, of course, was moonbeam coreopsis.
Oh, that's been around for
Well, and it crosses zones. So many people can have that. I'm in zone 5B, Dan, and sometimes I can't grow all the coreopsis. It depends.
Right, but the thing you can do is to grow the what are called the verticillata varieties.
Okay.
And this is, I know we have Bengal Tiger, which has really good sized flower with a red eye. Imperial Sun is another real large with a yellow. And these are ultra compact plants, and these are all zone 5. Center Stage Showstopper is another one, which are more rose red.
Yeah, that's like a pink, and a hot pink that fades out to a whitish pink. Is that
almost
correct?
Looks like a firewitch dianthus.
Yeah, it almost looks like a dianthus. It's beautiful, though.
Yeah, and then we've got a new one coming out called Firefly that's just got this brilliant yellow flower with the red eyes.
Bullseye. Well, let's hope it attracts more bees, right? That's our goal.
Coreopsis are just monster bee attractors. And if they ever do get shabby, you just shear them down about halfway and they just come right back up. Give them a little food at that time. But the beauty of coreopsis is that they, once they flower, the new flowers come up through and then they flower. So you're not seeing the old flowers so much.
So they really have long-lasting interest. Very good, very good.
Do you have a favorite combination? Like, give me 3 plants that you love to see side by side.
Sedum, Echinacea, and a grass. Any grass.
And the grass.
The
ornamental grasses. I love the blue shades mixed with the burgundy sedum a lot.
I did not expect Mr. Dan Heims to go with the grass. Give me some grass varieties. What does Terra Nova Nurseries have in the way of grasses?
Here's another fun word is the Hakone Cloa.
Japanese
forest grass.
Yep, Hakone from Hakone, Japan. Cloa just means grass. And these are more shade plants, so they're not going to be mixing so well with the sedums. I mean, that's just the one we're doing. But there's panicums, there's like Shenandoah's, just a beautiful form. Halictotrichon with, for us, it's nearly evergreen, blue foliage. It's fantastic. The fescues, Pennisedums, I think is it Rosenstrahl?
Oh, that one I don't know. You caught me.
You tell us.
Look at you, Mr. Expert. Yeah.
It's almost black burgundy. And,
Well, the website is terranovanurseries.com. The
Yep.
plants are available in my garden centers, Alsip Nursery in the Chicagoland region, as well as
Independent
your
garden
local
center.
independent garden center is going to be much more likely to be carrying these plants than the box store. But
Right.
listeners and viewers out there, take some time to visit terranovanurseries.com and peruse the colors of different plants that you may not have even known existed. Mr. Heims and his company
gorgeous.
are responsible for getting these plants out there, and awesome work that you guys are doing. You're trend setting, you're setting the bar high. Hopefully the Kinko breeders, never catch up.
Yeah,
So,
thanks for being on our show, Dan. We so appreciate it.
Thanks for the coverage, guys.
All right.
thanks, Dan.
Have you been disappointed with your lawn, even though you spread fertilizer year after year? If so, then you're not alone. That's because most people are unaware that feeding the lawn is only one of 2 key factors in getting beautiful results. The second is so obvious, but gets overlooked because it's out of sight, out of mind. The soil. Jonathan Green's new American Lawn Plan, unlike traditional fertilizers on the market, feeds both the lawn and the soil. Your soil is filled with nutrients, but many of these nutrients are never absorbed by the grass because your soil biology and chemistry hasn't been activated. This includes nutrients from your lawn fertilizer, too. Jonathan Green's new American Lawn Plan corrects the problem with 2 organic soil-reviving fertilizers: Love Your Lawn, Love Your Soil, and Magical. Spreading Jonathan Green's Love Your Lawn, Love Your Soil feeds your soil biology, activating its microscopic ecosystem. This activated microbial activity breaks down trapped nutrients, so they're completely absorbed by the grass roots. Love Your Lawn, Love Your Soil also creates natural gaps in your soil, allowing air and water to penetrate deeper so roots can grow further. Applying Jonathan Green's Magical feeds your soil chemistry, making it properly balanced. A well-balanced soil enables grass roots to absorb much more lawn fertilizer. This higher absorption rate makes your fertilizer more effective and reduces the risk of waste and runoff while helping keep your lawn and our environment green. Love Your Lawn, Love Your Soil, and Magical are fully compatible with any lawn fertilizer or annual lawn program. We recommend using them with a wide range of Jonathan Green fertilizers designed to feed your lawn with superior results. Feed your lawn and your soil with Jonathan Green's new American Lawn Plan. And finally, get a beautiful lawn you can feel good about.
Alsip Home and Nursery. Think outside the box store.